How's it going, guys? I'm your host Carbon Gaming. Welcome back to a very special Adventure Quest video, and for today's video we are actually going to be looking at the armor tier list. Okay, so first things first, before we start the video, I just want to say that this tier list is entirely my opinion, and all tier lists are going to be opinionated in some way. So if you disagree with me, or if you think some things can be changed, do let me know down in the comments below. Also, you can reach out to me in my Discord server. Okay, the link to that will also be up on the screen as well as down in the description below. Okay, all of the info that and opinions that I provided inside of this video is updated as of the time of making this video. That is on 31st August 2022. The game does receive updates every single week, so stuff might change. We might get new stuff changing the tier list. Okay, if you guys want to know my latest opinions on how good or bad I think the newly released armors are or newly updated armors are, then you definitely want to subscribe to the channel. Alright, so without further ado, let us begin. Okay, so first of all, the Subrace as well as the no-drop armors, which means the Vampire, Werewolf, Vampire, Necro, Ultra Guardian, Ultra Guardian armor of all of that stuff, they are all going to be S tier simply because there aren't many options to choose from, and all of the Subrace armors, depending on which build you're using, they are all going to be top tier because they come with a whole bunch of different skills that you can use. And the no drop armors, you really don't have a lot of options. So yeah, you only have your standard adventurer stuff, your Ultra Guardian armor, as well as your armor of all. There's only 3 things for you to choose from, right? And obviously you don't want to do adventurer if you're not an adventurer. So either Ultra Guardian or armor of all, either one of these two, depending if you're playing a offensive build or a defensive build, you can put them in. So they are all going to be S tier. Alright, now let's start this proper. First things first, we have the newly released Hexbound Solar Core armor. Alright, so it's a fully offensive fire armor with light secondary, melee range, magic blocking focus, and all attacks with this armor deals extra 30% damage. This is the highest boost in the game currently, but after every attack you inflict a small burn on yourself for 3 turns. Okay, and the burn does stack. Okay, and then the second skill is an overcharged fire weapon based skill, follows weapon damage type, deals extra 50% damage. Rather than pay extra SP, the skill inflicts burn on you for 5 turns. Okay, so this one, I personally feel it is going to be in A tier. Alright, the damage boost is of course really good, and you can transfer the burn with other items of the set. But I'm going to be looking at the items in a vacuum, basically comparing armors against different armors. I'm not going to be taking into equation, you know, other pieces of equipment, like, you know, if it's part of a set, if it's, you know, the shield, if you use it with this OP item or that OP item. I don't think that will be a fair comparison. So yeah, on its own, why it's A tier and not S tier is simply because the skill doesn't do many hits, and the regular attack is like 3 hits. So even with the damage boost, yeah, I guess it's alright. Is it really S tier though? I would say no. It's a very, very strong armor, but is it S tier? Nah, I don't think so. Alright, next up we have all your different Bloodmage variants as well as all your Bloodzerker variants. Okay, so Bloodmage, obviously for mages, fully offensive armor. When casting a spell in this armor, you pay some HP, you pay some HP 348 at level 150 to boost your spell damage by 50%. It also comes with another standard fire spell that increases spell damage because it's locked to a single element depending on what armor that is. So that burst spell is only 2 hits. So again, this is going to be A tier, as well as the Bloodzerker. Where is the Bloodzerker armor? Let me see if I can find it. Oh my god, I expected this to be neatly organized. Apparently it's not. It's all over the place. Okay, I think this is the Bloodzerker one. Okay, so the Bloodzerker is a fully offensive fire armor with melee blocking focus. It's basically the warrior counterpart to the Bloodmage. When attacking in this armor, you pay for 87 HP to increase weapon damage by 20%, 26.7% for magic, and then you can toggle on the skill, okay, which locks your weapon-based attacks, specials, and skills to the element of the armor, and increases their damage by a whole lot. Okay, it's treated as a weapon-based skill, so Elicon reduces SP skill cost. 98 for melee range, 196 for magic at 150. So it's a very strong imbue, okay, but of course, again, the armor's attack is only 2 hits. So against most modern bosses that have, you know, damage caps and all that, it's not going to be fantastic. So I'm going to put this in A. Alright, next up we have the Dark Invader. So it's a fully offensive fire and energy armor with flat blocking. Comes with a flavor effect and a skill. So the flavor effect, you gain 5 status resistance at the cost of -20 burn weakness. And then the skill is slow. It deals no damage, but it does attempt to inflict 4 effects for 2 turns each. Okay, you have your fire and energy death loss, fire and energy elemental vulnerability, a choke, status weakness, as well as a yeah, that's the 4. And then you have Elicom to increase the potency of all of the effects. So it's a very, I would say it's a very good armor, and Brady Simmons is probably going to argue that this is one of the best armors in the game. And you know what, I am going to have to agree with him on this one, because this honestly, it's a very good armor. Even though the skill does absolutely no damage, it inflicts 4 different effects. That's just crazy. And it compresses 2 elements inside of 1 armor. So yeah, what can I say? I do think that this is definitely going to be S tier. Let me see if I can find the armor. Dark Invader, where are you? I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. Dark Invader, S tier. Our first S tier armor. Yay. Next up, Torontosaurus Rex Rider. Fully offensive fire armor, range blocking focus. Mastercraft goes into 2 skills. First up is a fire spell type skill, follows weapon damage type. Deals lesser damage and attempts to increase monsters' fire resistance by some %. And then your second skill, it's a overcharge skill, follows weapon damage type, has 8 hits and deal extra 50% damage. This is fantastic against the modern damage bosses because of the multiple hits, and it's overcharged, so it deals a lot of damage. So what can I say? S tier as well. Next up, we have War's Legacy. Okay, it's a Mastercraft fire armor with melee blocking focus, and it has 3 skills. Mayhem, a weapon-based skill, follows weapon element and damage type, does not get Elicom. Okay, standard skill cost apply. Carnage is a fire spell type skill, follows weapon damage type, Elicom increases skill damage. And last but not least, we have Panic, causes a turn and deals no damage, attempts to inflict fear on the enemy. Okay, so this one, I think it is only, even though it has 3 skills, but honestly, it's really not that amazing. Okay, you have a element lock skill, you have a standard skill, and then you have a fear skill. I would say this is going to be getting B or C tier. I don't know. You do have a lot of variety this one, so I'm going to go with B simply because of how many stuff it does. And last but not least, we have Headless Horseman, fully offensive fire armor. Okay, comes with a skill, Pumpkin Smash. This used to be one of the best armors for warring, but of course that did get we do have better armors nowadays, and people even got catered for using this armor because of how stupidly, good it was for warring back in the day. Nowadays though, the skill is still pretty efficient, okay, and the Elicom reduces skill SP cost, so it's 111 for melee or range and 209 for magic. Spammable skill basically. And because of how fast it is and how efficient the skill is, I am going to give it a B tier, okay? Of course, the skill is only 1 or 2 hits, I can't really remember, but yeah, it's not super good against modern damage bosses nowadays. If you want to use it for warring, you still can, okay, but I think H series would be a better choice, which we'll go through later on. Okay, moving on, Archmage Apprentice. Archmage Apprentice is a spellcaster water armor and magic blocking focus, comes with 2 skills. This is quite a new armor. It was only released just earlier this year, though I kind of wish we did get the Archmage class instead, but oh well. Mana Flow, quick cast, usable once per battle. You pay 345 SP at level 150 to reduce the MP cost of the next water spell. Okay, in this armor by the cost of 1 standard spell, which is 659. And then the second skill is a Mana Shield. You pay 78 MP at level 150 to get a Mana Shield, a 12 MRM defense boost for 3 turns, as well as 10 generic status resistance for 3 turns. I do think this is quite useful, but is it top tier? I would say not really. A, but definitely very, very, very near to S for me. Next, Fae-Touched Knight's Regalia is the Mastercraft fully offensive water armor. Okay, comes with various effects. You pay 3 MRM for 105 initiative. If enemy is affected by panic, you deal minus 10% damage, but heals 25% melee in SP. 98 150 on attack. Next one, you get water weapon based range skill. There's Elicom, so it reduces the skill cost to make it efficient, and deals extra 20% damage if the enemy affected by panic. deals minus 10% damage otherwise. And last but not least, there is a toggle. You pay 196 SP at level 150 to increase the damage of spells by 37.5%. Okay. Oh wait, there's another toggle. You pay 20 SP at level 150 to gain 7.5 generic status potency. So it does a whole lot of things, but this is more of like a hybrid armor, I believe. Is it really hybrid? Yeah, I think it's... There's one that scales based on strength, there's one that scales based on dexterity, and then you also have intellect. So yeah, you basically used by very traditional hybrids, so that really doesn't exist anymore nowadays. You either you only focus on strength and intellect for modern hybrids, or maybe dex and intellect. Is there one that does strength, dex, and intellect nowadays? I don't really think so. So yeah, this armor I'm gonna go with B or C. This is hard, man. You need panic to make it good. Yeah, without you also need panic to make it good. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Alright. Next we have Spring Dryad Vestments. Wow, this armor I completely could not find anybody doing any showcase of it. There was no pictures of it anywhere, so I had to use this, you know, placeholder picture. Okay, it's a fully defensive water armor with Earth secondary. And the first skill, it comes with a skill and a toggle. The first skill is a water spell type skill, and Elicom increases the skill damage. The second one is a toggle. You pay 77 SP at level 150 and 103 MP. When toggled, the armor switches from fully defensive to fully offensive. All attacks and spells will use hybrid, okay, which is strength, intellect, and luck stats. Player takes minus 10% damage, and you heal HP equal to something something. Additionally, the healing amount is divided by monster resistance. This one, yeah, I don't really see anyone using it, to be honest, and I'm going to say this has to be C tier. Not really good. Maybe I should just remove D tier. I don't think there's anything here that's in D tier. I wouldn't even talk about it, right? Okay, let's just remove that. Alright, next up, W.H.E.E.L. Your fully offensive water and earth armor comes with a standard skill which does water damage, either range or magic. Let me just double check how many hits the skill is. Okay, it's 3 hits. 3 hits, not fantastic. I am going to put this in, let me see, where is it? This one, C tier? Yeah, it's really nothing that special. I'm going to say C tier for this one. Human Fisher. Okay, fully offensive water armor comes with an efficient skill. Okay, follows weapon damage type but is locked to water. Okay, 102 SP for melee range, 201 SP for magic at level 150. This one, Human Fisher. This is another tough choice, I have to say. Oh, there you are. Okay, just an efficient skill. Really nothing special though. I think I'm going to put it in C tier. Yeah, even though the efficient skill is really good, but there's really nothing to shout about. For W.H.E.E.L, let me just reevaluate W.H.E.E.L. You do get it does compress 2 elements. Okay, I'm going to give it B simply because it compresses 2 elements, so that makes it a little bit better. Moglord Tortress, okay, fully offensive water armor. You can toggle between water and fire, primary resistance, and comes with a hydro cannon skill. Very strong skill because it's based off the old standard, okay, and yeah, and on top of that you compress 2 elements, okay. This one I think I'll have to go with A simply because the skill is based off old standards. It was updated to new standards. I don't think it'll be that good anymore. It's still 3 hits only. It's basically about the same as W.H.E.E.L if it gets updated to new standards, but yeah, because it's based off old standards, I'm going to put it as A. Alright, next, Kindred. Kindred armor, just spam charges, you know, you can nuke down basically anything. Has to be S tier because it is super duper broken if you take the time to go ahead and do your charging. Okay, Hare Razor armor. This one is for dodge slash builds. Okay, Hare Razor, I would say the new Shadowfall Raiment is better than it, so I can't give it anything higher than a B, so I'm going to put it in B. Alright, let me see if there's anything else that I missed out. Mason Forms. Okay, the Mason Forms and all of their different elemental variants, it comes with a quick cast skill. Okay, they are fully offensive armors and all of secondary darkness resist. Okay, they come with a quick cast skill that applies a 1-turn imbue based off the armor's element. While the imbue is active, weapon-based attacks attempt to inflict a choke effect. Duration and damage reduction of the choke determined by damage dealt. So it's a good imbue, and the more damage you deal, the stronger the choke. This one, I'm gonna have to say, oh my god, B? Yeah, B. Only B. I don't think I can go any higher for this. Next up, we have Frozen Dragonslayer. Alright, triggers against dragons, extra 10% damage for all attacks, specials, and skills. 5% damage against Dragonkin or Draco, and minus 5% damage against everything else. And then you have a ice spell type skill, deals either range or magic damage depending on player stats. Helicom increases skill damage and it seeks between Void, Harm, and Ice against dragons, and seeks between Harm and Ice against Dragonkin or Draco. So you have to use this with the Draco Morgify spell, either that or you have to be facing a dragon. Very, very niche armor, so I'm going to have to put it in the C tier. Yeah, probably going to be C tier because of how niche it is. Legion Marauder, fully offensive ice armor. Okay, flat blocking, comes with a skill. Call forth the Legion Dragon. Ice spell type skill, follows weapon damage type. Helicom increases skill damage, and the skill seeks between Void, Harm, and Ice against demons. So you have to use Demon Morphosis for this one. Same as the Frozen Dragonslayer, super duper niche, so I don't see it going anything higher than a C tier. And I think it's worse than Dragonslayer simply because we don't have that many demon monsters inside of the game. Unless you use Demon Morphosis, which is like another spell slot. So yeah, we have more dragon monsters than we have demon monsters, that's for sure. Let me see if I can find the armor. Where are you? Where are you? This one, right? Yep. Alright. And then we have the Ebony Sepulchure form. This one, you have a skill that turns anything undead. You can pair this with the Paladin armor. This will be really good. Or the Arctic's Ally Assist. And there are quite a lot of undead triggers in the game, but because it is kind of niche, so I'm going to put it in C+. Most modern bosses do resist the status change. So yeah, C tier. And then we have Griffinrider Mount. Okay, it's a token armor, fully offensive wind armor. Mounted is a standard armor. Unmounted, you lock your normal attacks to wind element, and Helicom increases normal attack damage. This is 2 hits, right? So yeah, it again is like another sort of imbue thingy, but I don't see it being very good nowadays because 2 hits and modern bosses have soft damage cap. Graverider Mount, basically the ice clone of Griffinrider Mount. So again, B tier. And let me see, is there anything else that I want to cover? Tinkerer, oh, it's an old armor. You have both fire and energy at 40%, so you compress 2 elements. And on top of that, it has 2 skills. One is an energy skill, normal attack skill, deals either range or magic damage. And the second one is a fire skill. So exactly the same, one is fire, one is energy skill. But will you really be using fire or energy element skills in a fire or energy element armor? That's my question to you. Nonetheless, the skill is like 4 hits or something, and it does compress 2 elements, so I'm gonna give it a B tier. Yeah, borderlining on C, but B tier for this one. It is double Mastercraft based off the old standard, but it's really not that great nowadays. Anything else that I missed out? Shinyaro Form. Okay, Shinyaro Form is a non-elemental armor. You compress water, earth, light, and darkness, all 45%. Okay, so it's not particularly good for resisting against any one element, but if you want to, you know, fight a monster that hits with random elements, I guess this is okay. But the specialty about this armor is the skill, Death Fist, weapon-based skill. Follows weapon damage type and element, has no Helicom, so standard skill cost apply. Deals minus 25% damage and attempts to inflict minus 50 endurance or fragile effect for 1 turn. Okay, this one has quite a few hits, I think. Was it 4 or 5 hits? Let me just double check. I don't think it says, right? I think it's 4 or 5 hits. I can't really remember. But yeah, this one is your free-to-play fragile option. It's one of the very few free-to-play fragile options. And I would say this is actually decent as a finishing move, especially if it's fragile status, but because most modern bosses usually like to resist stuff, it's not going to be that fantastic. And this one is you're rolling against the monster's endurance, and the monster's endurance, most bosses usually have some form of endurance, so yeah, I'm going to give it a B. Okay, Lord of the Skies with the new update, yeah, this is a fantastic armor. You have an overcharge skill and a efficient skill. Yep, so very, very good. Definitely S tier for me. Let me see, anything else here? I think that's all. Okay, Ultimon. Ultimon's armor. Okay, so your standard shadow armor inside of the game compresses darkness 39%. No, compress light and darkness at 40%, sorry. Okay, and there is a standard, it comes with a skill that seeks between light and dark, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, it seeks between light and dark, so this is pretty good, because if you're defending against light, then the skill will deal dark damage. If you're facing off against darkness monster, the skill will do light damage. And if you're facing off against shadow monsters, then I guess you don't really want to use the skill. Okay, so all in all, it's a decent armor, but the skill doesn't do a lot of hits, but because it compresses 2 elements and they are both light and dark, very good for shadow monsters, free to play option, B tier. Next up, ShadowWalker of Time. And of course, the new UmbralWalker of Time as well. It compresses darkness 39% and ice 41%. Okay, and this one, it inflicts a permanent fragile on the foe. Minus 33 each time you get it to proc. I can't remember if it's auto proc or what. Yeah, but it is super duper strong, and if you stack this up, it's just crazy. It bypasses all damage caps. So that makes it fantastic for, you know, modern day bosses. S tier for me. Now moving on to the defensive armors. I believe I did skip around a bit and, you know, move here and there simply because the pictures aren't arranged as nicely as I'd like them to be. Oh, one more thing, H series. Wow, with the new update, this is just chef's kiss. Even before the update, this would have been S, but now with the update, it's like double S or something like that. Best armor for warring, hands down. Second, initiative bonus, extra 50% damage if you go first. You know, there's the now it has a energy skill that is efficient, very strong, and then of course you can lock your attacks to energy and get a second turn or something like that. Yeah, very, very good armor, S tier for sure. Okay, the Ice Necro Cavalry. Ooh, this one, another very strong ice armor. Okay, the first skill is an elemental vulnerability skill, and then the second skill is like a 6-hit haunting skill, super duper strong. Spellcaster lean as well, S tier. Horo-Show, quite an old armor from the 10th anniversary. Man, it's been 10 years since this armor was released already. Can you believe that, guys? That's just crazy to me. 10 freaking years since Horo-Show came out. Nowadays, I would say it's still decent, okay? And of course, the damage, the skill is still pretty good, but it's only 2 hits. So against most modern damage bosses, it's not going to do a whole lot. B tier. With the full set, you do get a bit of void resistance, if I remember correctly. So I guess it could be good for void monsters. But then again, void monsters won't last that long anyway. You just kill them before they even have a chance of killing you. So you won't really need the void resistance. So yeah, B tier. Tribal Shaman, super old armor. Okay, this one comes with 3 skills. One boosts your damage, one boosts your accuracy, one inflicts fear on your foe. Back in the day, this used to be one of the top tier armors. Nowadays, you have other ways of boosting your damage that don't cost a ton. So yeah, I would say because of how many stuff it does, and also compress a bit of fire inside of it, I'm going to go with B tier. Let me see. Anything else that I missed out? Galen. Okay, Galen armor. Inflict the cold on your foe or something like that. I can't exactly remember what this does, but yeah, this is pretty strong, and one of the few items that allows you to inflict the cold on the enemy. So I am going to put it in S tier for this one. White Knight Z. Okay, nowadays it's not that good because of damage caps, but because it's based off the old lean standards, okay, this is still one of the strongest skills inside of the entire game. A tier? Yeah, I'm gonna go with A tier because of how strong the skill is against stuff with no damage cap. If you have stuff with damage cap, this is going to be B, but it's still a strong armor nonetheless. Yep. Then let me see here. Paladin, class armor. Do I even need to say more? S tier for sure. Same for Necromancer. You have so many skills. You can do so many stuff with the armor. Paladin is like a jack of all trades. And then for Necromancer, it's more like, you know, you're either playing as a mage or beastmaster. Either way, these two are like your top tier light and darkness armors. There's really no reason not to use them over any other light or darkness armors, in my opinion. There are a lot of good darkness armors inside the game. Like I can see there's Dark Invader, there's ShadowWalker. So in my inventory, I do run some compression stuff so I can run more than one darkness armor, simply because of how many good darkness options there are out there. But yeah, these two definitely your top picks, and they are free to play as well, so that makes them very good. Angel of Souls, free to play darkness armor. Again, another very, very strong darkness armor, and surprisingly this one got a lot of... My showcase video on this armor got like a whole ton of views. I don't know why, but I guess YouTube algorithm decided to bless that. Okay, fully offensive darkness armor, and the darkness weapon base skill follows weapon damage type, cost HP instead of SP. Elicon reduces HP skill cost, so it's like 47 HP cost for melee or range and 85 for magic at level 150. And this skill gains 2 times lucky strike stat damage. So it is freaking crazy, guys. Okay, unfortunately, because it's only 2 hits, but still the damage from this is crazy. And on top of that, this is free to play. A tier, man, A tier. Anything else I'm missing out? Let me see here. GP. Okay, this one is defensive armors. Okay, we'll go into our defensive armors now. I think I covered most of it, right? Oh, Teledosian Robes. Standard energy skill, I guess. Really nothing much to shout about. Okay, it's still a decent armor, but is it really that great? Psionic Blast is based off the old standard though. Deals either range or magic. And let me see, this one, how many hits is the skill? The skill is 3 hits, yeah. Old standards, I'm gonna go with B. I'm gonna go with B for this one, because it's only one element. And then we have the Hunter armor. It's a fully offensive earth or energy armor, and it has a spell like earth skill, follows weapon damage type. Elicom increases skill damage. It's only 1 hit, so yeah, this is very bad. C tier. Okay, defensive armors. Here we go. Bard of War. Bard of War is Mastercraft fully defensive fire armor. And then it comes with 2 toggles as well as 1 skill. The first toggle has a chance of letting your pets gain celerity. Second one is for guest celerity, and then the third one is a magic skill based off the armor's element. Uses charisma for damage. So this is the best armor for Beastmasters out there. So if you're a Beastmaster, get that and all of its elemental variants. Almost forgot to cover Decimator. Okay, another source of fragile. The 3 sources of fragile inside the game are like Shinyaro. I think there's something in Necromancer, and then you have your ShadowWalker of time. Decimator, this is an old lean armor, so it's still kind of good. Okay, and the skill does a lot of hits. That makes it kind of good for a finishing move. But because enemies are likely to resist, I don't know, man. I think this is above Shinyaro for sure. But is it A tier? Yeah. Okay, scraping the bottom of the A tier list, I would say. Next up, we have Matchmaker armor. Okay, so Mastercraft fully defensive fire armor. Okay, Mastercraft, 7.5%, extra 7.5% weapon damage if using a bow or spear. So this is kind of for rangers. Okay, flavor effect. All weapon attacks deal reduced damage. Okay, attempts to inflict control. This has -10 save bonus. And then there is a quick cast skill. After casting, you grant celerity. You apply -12.75 blind to yourself and locks the player into the armor until the end of the monster's next turn. I don't know how I feel about this, honestly. I can't remember which one is the Matchmaker, but yeah, anyways, this one, I don't know how I feel about it. It's really for rangers, defensive rangers. I would say A. Yeah, I'm gonna give it A. It's okay. Yeah, as a ranger, I don't really have much experience with rangers, so if you got, what do you guys think of this armor, man? It is free to play after all, but it is seasonal. Okay, next up, Wicked King's Fire Plate. Okay, Mastercraft fully defensive fire armor, and there is a spell like fire skill. Really nothing special, but it's the only non-Subrace fully defensive fire armor that's always available and the only option available for free to place. Nonetheless, this gets a C tier. Next up, we have Sharab. Okay, Sharab is a token armor. Speaking of which, I do need to upgrade my Sharab armor when Black Friday comes around. Okay, it has very high blocking all around and you can toggle between 3 modes each with your own skill. First, hard arrows, normal attacks deals reduced damage and attempts to inflict control. Okay, 729 love arrows, spell like wind skill. Elicom increases damage, deals minus 52.5% damage, attempts to inflict wind elemental vulnerability. Scrambles the enemy's resistance and applies an offensive lean. And yeah, that's crazy, man. Broken Heart Arrows is the second toggle. Normal attacks deals reduced damage, attempt to inflict blind. And then the skill is a spell like wind skill. Elicom increases damage, deals minus 50% damage, attempts to inflict strong wind burn or berserk. Okay, and last but not least, there is Star Arrows. Normal attack deals normal damage, and the skill is a spell like harm skill, deals minus 10% damage for being harmed. Wow, very versatile, fully defensive armor. I think this has to be S tier. Yeah, it can do so many things, and I haven't had the chance to test out how great this armor is yet, but that chance will come soon, okay, in about 3 months time. Can't wait. Ghost Costume, Mastercraft fully defensive wind armor. Okay, you take extra damage and then you deal lesser damage as well, but this is the highest blocking armor in the entire game without having any costs whatsoever. So this is obviously a must-have for dodge slash build, but if you're not playing a dodge slash build, there's really no reason to run this armor because you deal lesser damage and you take more damage. Other than that, everything else about the armor is just kind of bad. So yeah, you're really only using this for blocking. Nonetheless, it is the best for blocking, so I'm going to give it S, but only if you're playing dodge slash. If you're playing anything else, do not ever use this armor. Fujin. Okay, it's like your free-to-play version of Ghost Costume. It comes with a quick cast skill that applies 4 turns of defense boost. So if you don't have Ghost Costume, you can use this for the defense boost, I guess. But it does cost quite a hefty amount of SP. So this one I'm going to have to say... Oh yeah, this is also the only armor in the game that damages the enemy with whenever you drink a potion. You know, the potion toss. I think that's quite a unique effect. Maybe they should, you know, add that ability to more armors. But this one is still not very good for like dodge slashing. So I'm going to put it in C. Yeah, not that fantastic. Ice. Okay, for ice, nope, nothing. Of Joe Castellum. Whoa, this one. You, with Essence Orb, with 250 endurance, you can just stack like, I think it's 14 is the magic number. 14 turns of elemental shield, and then you basically get, you know, all damage to you gets reduced to 0 for like 9 turns or something crazy like that. Very, very OP if you want to stack it. So yeah, S tier for me. Light. Let me see here. Oh, I didn't cover the Fiend of Light, right? Fiend of Light, only form of Spirit Rare in the game. It's a decent armor. Is it the best? Not really. Yeah, I'm going to say not really. Let me see if I can find the info subs. Give me a moment. Yeah, fully offensive light armor. There's a light weapon-based skill, follows weapon damage type. Elicon reduces skill SP cost. 96 for melee range, 194 for magic. Oh, okay, so it's spammable. Deals minus 45.8% damage and attempts to inflict Spirit Rend. So it's a light base freeze for 1 turn. Because the skill is spammable, I'm going to say A tier. Yeah, A tier. Alright. Fortune Teeth. Oh, Mastercraft fully offensive Earth armor. Okay, it comes with multiple passives and a skill. So you pay 3 MRM for 105 initiative. You pay 3 MRM again to gain one of the 2 effects based on luck and who goes first. The monster goes first and has more luck than the player. You take reduced damage until the start of their turn, and if you go first and has greater than or equal luck to the monster, all range attacks deals extra 50% damage until the start of the monster's turn. And then there is a skill. It's a earth weapon based range skill. Elicon reduces skill SP cost 113 at level 150. If the monster is not already affected by the unlucky status, deals minus 25% damage, attempts to inflict the unlucky status on the monster. Is the best armor for lucky fully offensive rangers, but fully offensive rangers not very common in the game. Nonetheless, I think it's a decent armor, but you know, fully offensive. I don't know. Is this going in A or B tier? I think, yeah, unless Rangers get a bit of a fully offensive Rangers at least get a bit of a buff, I'm gonna go with B tier. Yeah, they need to buff up Rangers a little bit, then maybe this will go to A tier. For now, it's just not that good. The Haunted Dragonlord armor. How did I miss this? Okay. Haunted Dragonlord armor. This one is a fully offensive wind armor, and it comes with a toggle and a skill. So the toggle, you pay 98 SP at level 150 per turn to turn the armor attack from 2 hits to 4 hits. So this is good for, you know, against damage cap bosses, and attempt to inflict a daze. Okay, not a very high chance, but better than nothing. And then the skill is a wind spell type skill. Elicom increases skill damage, pay an additional 209 HP at level 150 to increase the skill's BTH by 8.5 and damage by 20%. The only free fully offensive wind armor that isn't tied to Subrace worth using. This one I am going to say, if you couple it with the weapon and the shield, you do heal up. Okay, no, that was pre-nerf, right? After the nerf, it's not that great, but we are comparing this without the weapon and the shield. On its own, yeah, I'm going to have to say this is probably C tier. On its own, I would say this is probably C tier. It's really not that good. The amount you're paying for the skill, you're paying like 209 HP extra to increase the BTH by 8.5 and damage by 20%. I don't think that is, you know, that fantastic. Even though it gets Elicom, but still. Okay, hold on. 2 hits to 4 hits. That could be useful. That could be useful. Okay, you know what? B tier, but it's scraping the bottom of the B tier barrel. Yeah, not the strongest. GPS. Okay, the only GPS armor you want to get, in my opinion, is the fully offensive burn version, and this gives the strongest burn in the entire game because it sacrifices all of its damage to inflict that burn. That being said, with damage boosting items, you can actually make the burn skill do damage, and the burn skill has quite a number of hits. So this is actually a really good armor if you want to play a burn build or like a burn eater build, whatever. I am going to say S tier for this one because of how strong the burn is. Alright, this armor, what in the world is this armor? My god, I cannot remember. Okay, never mind, we'll go through this one first. Oh, wait. I think it's Barbarian. Is it Barbarian? Yeah. Wait, hold on a minute. No, this is Barbarian. This is Matchmaker. Sorry guys. Okay, this is Matchmaker. This is Barbarian. Yeah, it's a Barbarian is a Mastercraft fully offensive ice armor with earth and light secondaries. Okay, you take 3.57% additional damage. First time damage per battle when you hit below 50% HP. You gain 1 turn of player plus miscellaneous celerity. And then the second flavor effect, all weapon attacks and spells lose 8.5 BTH. Strength boost and swave at the start of your turn. Mastercraft, you gain an additional 5% melee in SP, which is 20 at 150 per turn. Wow. This one C tier, man. I don't think it's that good because how often is your when are you going to go below 50% HP? You shouldn't be going below 50% HP anyway, so yeah. Not really good. And this last one over here, Shadowfall Raymond. Oh, Shadowfall Raymond. Okay, fully offensive darkness armor with very high blocking, has 2 passive effects. First one, normal attacks deals minus 33% melee and attempts to inflict light and darkness elemental vulnerability for 3 turns. And then the Mastercraft is that after a blocked attack, you attempt to inflict light and dark elemental vulnerability for 3 turns as well. Okay, the player takes 1.05 times additional damage to pay for 2 skills. Okay, the first one is a toggle. You pay 78 SP at level 150 per turn and applies 12 MRM to you for 1 turn and constant minus 12 BTH to the monster. Okay, and the monster deals 1.16 times damage to compensate. And then the second one, Shadowfall skill, comes in 2 parts. The first one is a quick cast. So you pay upfront for a darkness weapon based skill with extra 50% damage boost. Cost is modified by Elicom, which reduces SP skill cost. 381 SP for melee and range, 479 SP for magic at level 150. and you pay extra 59 SP at level 150 to add additional damage to the Shadow Force skill. Okay, so the second part is the skill. Okay, it has no cost because you already paid it in the first part. Okay, you deal extra 50% damage plus additional damage based off the number of turns that you have paid the 59 SP per turn cost from Shadow Focus. This additional damage boost caps at extra 90% damage, aka 10 turns. So yeah, this one it's for dodging mainly, but the skill is also pretty good. So I am going to have to say this is probably S tier for dodging. And that's it, guys, my tier list on the armors inside of the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with me. And yeah, till the next time, I'm your host Carbon Gaming. Peace out.